Doesn't get much better than this, I'm telling you. I'm sitting on the island right across the cut from One Tree Island in the Western Islands. And it has been a spectacular day. So I just want to take a minute and give you folks an idea of what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and all that kind of stuff. I'll just show you real quick. It's always one of these things, you know, squirrel, off it goes, and I get on a tangent. Anyways, getting a really nice, pleasant 10 right out of the north. It's going to be a fabulous evening tonight. Just fabulous. Last winter, well, it was cold and it was blowing and the snow was piling up and all that kind of thing. Somebody suggested to me that I should be watching some of the YouTube channels relative to sailing in the Caribbean, and so I did. And I picked up on folks like Sailing Yuma. Canadian guy, I believe the young lady is from Haiti, I think. Anyways, a young couple bought a boat for $2,000, put their own labor into it, fixed her all up, off they went, left Florida with a $20 bill, headed to the Caribbean. And since then, they have done countless number of YouTube channel programs or shows or editions, whatever you call them. I don't know what you call them. And they're doing very well for themselves. Right now they're in Newfoundland, and they're going to cross the Atlantic. I think it's a little late in the year for that, but they're going to cross the Atlantic and go to England, and then next year head all the way up to Greenland and Iceland and go up through the whole Baltic deal. Good for them. Another one I started watching was a ship called Delos. Two couples on this boat. SV Delos has been down in the Caribbean for I don't know how many years, but a good 5 or 6 or 7, doing all kinds of neat things and doing some research and diving on spots that nobody would dive with. Actually, one of their episodes, they were diving with blue whales. There's no way I would do that. But they're also awful lot younger than me. Atticus is another one. There's a young couple on a 30-foot boat. It's a yawl, not a ketch, a yawl. And they plan on sailing around the world. Wind Hippie, another one, 27-foot boat. Young lady all by herself. Her name is Holly Martin. And she's going to sail around the world. She's farting around down in the Caribbean right now, which is a good thing, down the south end, away from the hurricanes. La Vagabond was another one. They're a couple from Australia on this beautiful, beautiful catamaran. Whoa, man. They're cruising around the Caribbean. They actually had a child not on the boat, but child's on the boat now, and so now there's 3 of them. As they say, it's a stowaway. Lenny is his name. And one that's had a lot of impact on me is Sailing Lady K. And this is a couple that left Chatham last summer and came down the Detroit River and across Lake Erie and down through the Erie Canal system and dumped out into Albany and into the Hudson River and all the way down the Intercoastal and made it to Georgetown in the Exumas, spent the winter there and have since headed back. He has had incredible information. And after watching all these folks last winter, while it was freezing cold and it was dark and I was freezing, sitting by the fireplace and stuff, I thought, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta have some purpose at this age. I just, excuse me while I rub my face a lot. Like one of those things. So I decided that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell my power boats, buy a sailboat, learn how to sail, and head for the Caribbean. And I'm a quarter of the way there now. I bought a sailboat at the beginning of June over in Wyerton. Brought it across from Wyerton to Thunder Beach, which is roughly Penetang, in a day. It took me 10 hours to do. I'd never been on a sailboat alone before in my whole life. And I've kind of fallen in love with the thing. I'm not a hardcore sailor. I don't like to see the rail in the water, any of that kind of stuff. I don't mind motor sailing one little bit. Last summer, I spent almost $2,000 on fuel just on my powerboat. This summer, I've probably spent $100 on fuel in my sailboat. Well, that makes an awful lot of sense to me. So I've bought this very old boat, 1970 Douglas, designed by a fellow named Ted Brewer. I have no idea who he is, but it seems that his name is out there and gets touted around and whatnot. And I'm very, very happy with it. I've tooted around the bottom end of Georgian Bay all summer. Pretty much lived on the sailboat all summer long. And it's kind of time now to really prepare. So I'll back up a little bit. After seeing all these folks, oh, the other guy that I forgot to mention, one that I'm most impressed with, absolutely most impressive. Can't remember what his name is, but his boat name is Tarka. Young kid of Midwestern U.S., bought a sailboat down in, I believe, in Martinique. 27-foot, 1973 something, Albin, something like that. Never sailed before in his life. Just decided it was time to get off and do something different, and away he went. Bought the boat sight unseen, quit his job, off he went, and jumped on the boat, and he's in Panama right now, waiting to go through the Panama Canal. Apparently he's quite the wait for that. Sometimes you can wait a couple of weeks before you get through that, I guess. I'm not going through there, there's no way. Anyways, what he's doing with his YouTube channel and his Patreon channel is he's contributing a reasonable chunk of money to the coral reserve people, folks that are trying to bring the coral back and take care of it and so on. And he has been able to contribute a serious amount of money to the coral folks. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take off next summer, go up around the corner in Georgian Bay, go out through Killarney, come back down through Tobermory, down through Lake Huron, down through the Victoria River, across the Erie, down the Erie Canal, and down the Intercoastal. And while I'm doing all of that, as you will see in my videos to come, I'm going to try to raise as much support as I can for the Georgian Bay Land Trust, because I'm just going to swing this thing around so you can see. Right now I'm out on the Western Islands across from One Tree Island, and it is the 21st of September. September! Look at it. It is spectacular. Just spectacular. And Georgian Bay Land Trust is one of the reasons why Georgian Bay is so spectacular. So I'm going to try to raise some dollars for those folks. And I'm not sure how, I'd probably do it through a Patreon site. I don't know how to even hook up that kind of stuff yet. This is a serious old dog new tricks thing. But I got to do something, and I have to have a purpose. So I picked on the Georgian Bay Land Trust, rather, excuse me. Too many Dr. Bacardis this afternoon sitting in the sun. Georgian Bay Land Trust, And I contacted them and asked them if it was okay and if they were all right with everything. And they seemed to be, so far, as long as I don't get rude and get anyone thrown in jail, which might happen, might not. I don't think it'll happen. And I'm going to go. And that's the purpose for the whole start of Paddle Dream, my little boat, my little Ted Brewer and I, to head to the Caribbean. I am mistaken. Atticus is actually a catch. I got the two mixed up. There'll be plenty of history, geography, ecology, and stories in future Adventures of Paddle Dream episodes. To help support my YouTube channel, the Georgian Bay Land Trust, and my adventure, click on the subscribe button and the thumbs up icon below. The YouTube folks really like that. See you in the next episode.